explain this given topic, you have got the main point number 1. Suppose main point number 1 is his birth. So what are the supporting details you will get? So supporting detail number 1 is the place where he was born, the year when he was born, the name of his parents to the maximum, right? These are the details to support the main point number 1, to explain the main point number 1. अब इस सारे process में, if there are any examples given, illustrations given, any quotations given, remember these are merely repetitions. तो repetitions हमको छोड़ने हैं जब भी हम note making कर रहे हैं. Or we have to write only phrases. No complete sentences are written in a note making. Coming to main point number 2. Now suppose we come to his contribution to freedom movement in India. Then we'll find out the supporting details. So maybe non-cooperation, his non-cooperation movement, his civil disobedience movement, his truth and non-violence. Then we'll come to the main point number 3, because life, then his achievements, then his death. So we are maintaining a logical sequence. Passage किसी भी order में है. So about death, the person responsible for it, where he was shot dead, and what was his last words. What was the reason behind, if it is mentioned, so we can find it out. The year, place, and the accused, the murderer. Now, if you think that in the passage, because the main point, major focus is on Gandhi's contribution to the freedom movement, okay? So all those details, plus his birth, plus his death, we have already included. Suppose there is a brief description about his life in South Africa and the changes it brought into his life, right? We know why we are taking it as a sub point. We know that this is important. His life, his experience in South Africa, his fight against apartheid in South Africa. Though it is not directly linked with his contribution to the freedom movement in India, but still it is an important phase of his life, which we are going to mention. So whatever details you have of this place, of his experience in Cape Town, and about his experience in that rail coach compartment, and so on and so forth, you can include that. Now, the best note making is the one that if you convert it into complete sentence. अभी तो नोट मेकिंग आपने की, तो आपने सिर्फ क्या किया कि आपने phrases लिखे हैं, आपने complete sentences नहीं लिखे, जो भी main point supporting details थे you have included. Now if you write it into a complete full-fledged sentence, your summary must be automatically ready, and that is what is the test validity test of authenticity test of your note making. Note making, if converted into a paragraph, into a full-fledged sentence, it should prepare your summary, the summary of the given passage. Remember, summary is just 1/3 of the original passage. Many a times, especially when we used to have a physical exam and when students were asked to write summary, they used to copy, sometimes irritatingly, they will copy the entire passage. Ya fir it should be, if it is directly mentioned, you will have to write in 50 words. Then also students are writing 100 to 200 to 300 words, thinking that jitna zyada hum likhenge utna zyada humko marks milenge. This is not correct. This is not at all a correct approach. If it is a summary, it should just be 1/3 of the original passage. The best way to prepare your summary is to bring out the topic, main points, subpoints, supporting details, and then you convert it into a complete sentence. Your summary is ready. Just as in note making you are avoiding any kind of repetitions, examples, illustrations, वो आपके note making का part नहीं होता क्योंकि वो main point नहीं है. Same thing we are going to do here in a summary. We are going to avoid any kind of repetitions, examples, illustrations, quotations, and of course in a summary also we are going to maintain a logical sequence. So your note making is going to help you to prepare your summary properly. We will move on to paraphrasing, because we had got a question in the previous semester's OBE. We had been given a question on paraphrasing. That was a 15 marks question students were given. So let's take up what is paraphrasing. I have included here a few lines of a poem. But before we move ahead, I just want to explain it to you. Paraphrasing stands just in contrast with summary. It is quite opposite of summary. Summary is just 1/3 of the original passage. But paraphrasing is longer than the original passage. I repeat, paraphrasing is longer than the original passage. You will ask why. Because when we are doing a paraphrasing, we are just rewording the original content. We are rewording what the writer had said. We are not, this is not a critical comment, critical commentary, or critical analysis we are attempting. It is not an explanation also. Remember, it is not an explanation. Whatever is originally said by the writer, his content, his idea, we are simply rewording it. सिंप्लीफाई करके उसको इजी टर्म्स में इजी बनाकर उसको हम we are rewording what the writer has already said. So we are not adding our explanatory notes to it. We are not adding any critical comment to it. Don't add, when you are asked to do a paraphrasing, even this semester also, while I was evaluating, I want to share my experience, and you all be very careful. When I was evaluating the papers, I was shocked to see that despite constant reminder, students are still adding their own comments. And not only that, they are writing a paraphrasing, doing paraphrasing like a summary, as if they are attempting a summary. They are making it comparatively shorter than the original. The original passage was of some, say, 800 words. And when they had done a paraphrasing, they had barely written 200 to 300 words. So what will you expect your examiner to do? अगर आपको पता ही है कि आपका वर्ड लिमिट इतना है और आपका ओरिजिनल पैसेज 600 वर्ड्स का है, पैराफ्रेजिंग करना है, तो नेचुरली 600 से तो डेफिनेटली वो ज्यादा ही होगा, क्योंकि आपको पैराफ्रेजिंग का मतलब ही है इट इज लॉन्गर देन द ओरिजिनल पैसेज, क्योंकि आप रीवर्डिंग कर रहे हैं. किसी ने कोई बात बोली, उसी की बात को आप सिंप्लीफाई करके आप लिख रहे हैं ओरिजिनल टेक्स्ट को. अपनी तरफ से कोई एक्सप्लेनेशन नहीं दे रहे हैं, बस आप ये बता रहे हैं किसने ये इस तरह से बोला. ठीक है, आप you are not giving your critical commentary on that. You're not supposed to. It's not an explanation. So when you are doing a paraphrasing, you know that this is like a rewording. So you are to make it longer than the original text. Then also आप इसको precise करके compress करके छोटा कर दे रहे हैं. So what do you expect from your examiner to get? So do not write your own comments. Do not add your own explanatory notes to it. No interpretation is required when you are doing a paraphrasing. It is just a rewording. We do not even call it a summary. हम summary भी उसको नहीं बोलते हैं. क्यों नहीं बोलते हैं? क्योंकि summary तो हम अपने words में करते हैं, और वो just 1/3 of the original passage होना चाहिए, जिसमें आपने सिर्फ main points और supporting details दिए. But paraphrasing, you are not supposed to miss a single line or a single word from A to Z. Every detail, every word, every sentence is to be reworded. So do not miss those details. Any direct quotations in paraphrasing we are going to avoid because that is just a part of a summary. Just for example, if we are to do a paraphrasing, suppose this is the line of a poem by Robert Frost. I am sure you might have heard this poem or read somewhere. Woods are lovely, dark and deep, but I have promises to keep, and miles to go before I sleep, and miles to go before I sleep. These these are the lines of a poem by Robert Frost, stopping by woods on an early on an snowy evening. But suppose we have to do a paraphrasing of these four lines. What would be our answer? Remember, we are not going to give a explanation. When it is said paraphrasing means rewording. So don't try to explain it and think that you will score more if you will add your own commentary to it. Four lines you have, try to just in another 5 minutes, if you can reword it quickly. A rewording. You got my question? What I'm trying to say? Try to reword this. A paraphrasing. If you are asked,
Ma'am,
wait
one
for a
line
while.
example.
Let me complete. Let me complete. Just wait for a while. For another 5 minutes, you go through these four lines. Try to attempt a paraphrasing of these four lines and try to share your answers. We are just going to cross check if you have the tendency to add your own comment or you are simply rewording and doing a paraphrasing in the true sense of the word. Now your question. What were you asking?
Ma'am, can you please revert the first line?
Yes. Can I what do? Can I what? Please repeat.
Revert the first line.
This one. Start from your Woods are lovely. This is the last stanza of the poem, and you will have to do a paraphrasing of this only. These four lines, just four lines. Tell me when you are ready with your answer.
Ma'am, I have prepared something.
You're ready.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you please share it?
Ma'am, should I read it?
Yes, your answer, please.
Ma'am, I have done it in a way like the woods in the forest are lovely, dark, and deep. However, the poet has promises to keep, and also he has to go miles before he sleeps.
Don't you think this is not rewording? Don't you feel like this is a summary? This should be longer than the original text, right? One line you have missed.
I have also prepared
See,
something.
rewording means to simplify. You are rewording. You are not just what you have done, Mafia. You have simply used the already used words of the poet. How far it is different from the original one? You have to reword it, means you will have to use your own words to describe what the poet is saying. This is called rewording. You're not
Ma'am, we have to
explaining,
use our own words.
you are not explaining, but you are using your simple words to explain what the poet is saying. So it is
Okay.
rewording.
We have to use our own words, right?
Next, there was someone else who wanted to share that. Can you see my screen? Can you see the screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Now your answer.
Ma'am,
Yes, please.
ma'am, can I read my
Sure.
from the given four lines, the poet implies that the forests are lovely and dark as it is dark as no sunlight pass through the canopy as it is too dense and deep. But at the same time, the poet promises to keep on going for miles and miles before he sleeps.
All right. Closer to better than the previous one.
Ma'am, can I try?
Amit,
Yes, ma'am.
please go ahead.
Ma'am, in the poem, poet is trying to express that the forest is in words he is written words which is depicting the forest which are very deep and dark due to the snowy evening, and he has promises to keep means he had made promises with his family that he will reach his destination before he sleep means it is being referred here sleep as the death. So he has made promises with his family
Don't
or the
explain. You don't have to explain.
okay, ma'am.
Yes, you don't have to explain. No explanation is needed.
I have
Now, shall
also
I give it a
prepared
try?
something.
Ma'am, shall I give it a try?
Vivek, yes, please.
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the poet is trying to say that the forest is beautiful, magnificent, dark, and huge, but he's bound to keep some promises. And he's many more things to get, miles to go before the end.
Before the before the journey ends.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Ma'am, can I give it a try?
Yes, please.
Ma'am, the forest like life is very lovely, but also it is very lonely and cavernous. Also, the poet have to complete the promises made by him, and before ending his life, he have to complete all the promises made by him before taking the final sleep.
Okay. Final decision.
Can I try, ma'am?
Yes, please.
Ma'am, poet says that woods are looking beautiful and looking like dark and deep as a night. He takes pledge to travel miles before going to bed. He wants to travel miles before going to bed.
All right. Yes. I think you are the only one who has repeated the line because there is a repetition. You two are repeating the same in your paraphrasing. Next. Anyone else? Anybody else? Okay. Let's have a look at whatever answers you have given. We are just trying to have a look at and compare our answers with it. This answer, earlier we had just 4 lines. Here, comparatively, it is longer, seems to be. So, at a glance, also, visually, also, it tells us that yes, it is a paraphrasing because it is longer than the original passage. Now, let's take it up one by one. Woods are lovely, dark, and deep. So, woods or the forest appears lovely or enchanting or captivating. We are simplifying, right? To simplify, we are rewording. तो rewording के लिए जरूरी तो नहीं कि जो पोएट ने वर्ड यूज किया वही वर्ड यूज करें. तो उसका हम कोई भी सिनोनिम जो सिंपल हो, इजी टू अंडरस्टैंड हो, हम बोलेंगे. ठीक है. So lovely could be enchanting, captivating, attractive to the poet, and it also appears to be lovely and at the same time dark and deep. So appears to be a deep or a dense forest with darkness spread around. We are just rewording, we are not adding any comments. And just see, this one line has got this long sentence. But I have promises to keep. He reminds himself. The poet reminds himself that he has to keep some promise or promises he has made to himself, or for promises you can also call it commitments he has made to himself. And what else he reminds himself that the next line says he reminds himself that there is still a long distance to cover, isn't it? Miles means distance, long distance to cover before he falls asleep, or before he goes to sleep, or before he retires to his bed. Now you know that this line is repeated. This line is repeated twice, which means once again he reiterates. आप कोई भी बात को दो बार बोलते हैं तो उसका obvious मतलब है कि you are trying to reiterate something, right? So he reiterates that he still has to cover a long distance before he falls asleep. This is just a rewording of the original content, and which is why it is longer than the original passage or original poem. That is what we mean by paraphrasing. Suppose it is a prose passage. Now you have got this line, today's youth. Now this is a prose line. Today's youth want name, fame, and affluence without putting required efforts. They run after jobs and expect high salaries. Now if you have to reword this, मतलब आपको paraphrasing करनी है इस passage की, इतने छोटे passages नहीं आते, but हमारे पास practice sessions के लिए we are not taking the longer passage अभी, so because we are still learning. So आपको इस prose passage की paraphrasing करनी है, what will you do? How will you do? If you can manage to do it.
Ma'am, what is the need of paraphrasing?
Pardon?
Ma'am, why is paraphrasing necessary, needed?
Paraphrasing is necessary to simplify the original content, to make the language simple and easy to understand. Sometimes literary jargon, sometimes technical jargon, or high sounding words or hieroglyphics are used. And when we are before, it is the primary stage of explanation, right? Or critical analysis. Before trying to make a critical analysis or understand the comprehensional question or the actual meaning, before you start interpreting or explaining something, you will have to do the paraphrasing to first understand what the writer is saying. So paraphrasing helps you to understand what the writer is saying. पहले आप प्राइमरी सोर्स को समझ लीजिए कि जो राइटर ने कहा है उसका क्या मतलब है, तभी हम उसको इंटरप्रेट कर सकते हैं अच्छे से, उसका क्रिटिकल एनालिसिस भी हम तभी कर सकते हैं. बिना ये समझे कि राइटर क्या बोल रहा है और हम एकदम से उसमें अपने कमेंट्स ऐड करने लगेंगे तो वो प्रॉपर जस्टिफिकेशन नहीं होगा. सो टू अवॉइड making prejudiced statements or biased statements, the primary stage of close reading is paraphrasing, or primary stage of comprehension is paraphrasing. Before where we try to uh, before adding our own explanatory notes or critical comments, we try to understand what the writer is saying. इसलिए हम rewording करते हैं. ठीक है, अपना एक्सप्लेनेशन नहीं देते हैं, पहले हम ये समझने की कोशिश करते हैं कि पोएट क्या बोल रहा है या राइटर क्या बोल रहा है, इसीलिए हम उसको सिंप्लीफाई करते हैं, इजी टर्म्स में, इजी वर्ड्स में उसको रिपीट करते हैं. So if you can do this. I think this one is quite easier. So if any one of you is ready, anyone among you,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Right here.
please start.
Ma'am, the above prose implies that in today's world, the youngsters want to be famous or only want the name, fame, and luxury without any hard work. People generally run only after the jobs and expect the huge amount of salaries from it.
All right. There was one more response.
Yes, ma'am.
Ma'am, I have prepared also.
Okay.
Ma'am.
Ma'am, in today's world, youth are running after name, not only name, but also after fame and influence because they want to be famous. But the matter of fact is that they are not putting the required effort. They expect high salaries, and for getting high salaries, they are running after jobs.
Right. So the first thing we have done, suppose
Ma'am,
आप
can I also
comprehension
try?
की, हाँ,
Um, may I?
just I wanted to add a comment. If you are getting this any comprehensional passage, suppose you have to do the unseen passage and comprehension, note making, summary. The first primary thing is to understand what the writer is saying, and to know what the writer is saying, you will have to simplify it. And this process of simplifying it or rewording it is called as paraphrasing. So, which will help you to understand the original content first, right? Okay, you can try. Then I'll move on to the other point.
Okay, ma'am. Today's youths, teens, youngsters, they want to get famous, celebrated, popularized, and want wealth, prosperity, opulence, luxuries without even giving the required hard work for achieving these things. These youngsters wants job with excessive earnings, stipends, and does not wanna give enough efforts to achieve these things.
All right. So, yes. So today's
Ma'am.
youth, yes. Somebody else wants to try?
Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, the new generation wants constant recognition, respect, and prosperity without working for it religiously. They look for a
They
piece of
want
work which would,
name. They want name. What word have you used for name?
ma'am, recognition,
Recognition. Fame.
respect.
Yes. Fame means popularity, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Fame means becoming famous.
Yes, ma'am.
Hmm.
And ma'am, prosperity for affluence.
Okay.
Ma'am, it looks like the new generation wants constant state of recognition, respect, and prosperity without working for it religiously. They look for a piece of work which would quench the thirst of their needs with high wages.
Okay. So today's youth wants to be popular, right? They want to be popular. They want to be famous. They want to have their own recognition, or as you said,
Celebrated.
place in the society. They want to lead. They want to be affluent. Means they want to be lead a life of prosperity, but without putting required efforts. They do not put in the They do not take the required initiatives or the efforts needed to achieve name, fame, and affluence. Today's youth want good jobs, affluent jobs, but affluent jobs, they expect, as you said, high remuneration or salaries, or they expect a lot of money in return, income in return, but not putting in the required efforts. So I think
Ma'am,
I'm quite
ma'am,
satisfied that you are able to do the paraphrasing. So we'll move ahead. Yes, anybody else?
ma'am, one thing I want to ask, like we can repeat the words like if there is name only one time. Can we
We
hear
have
three
to
times?
simplify. See, we have to simplify. So if we are able to simplify और उसके जो भी हमारे पास ओरिजिनल वर्ड्स हैं उसके लिए हमारे पास और सिंपल वर्ड अवेलेबल हैं जिससे कि हम इजीली एक्सप्लेन कर सकते हैं, राइट? रीवर्डिंग, व्हाट एल्स रीवर्डिंग मीन? वी आर लुकिंग फॉर a more simpler version of the original words so that we can be in a position to understand what the writer is saying. You are getting my point? Rewording means we will be using simpler terms, words, and we are rewording with the help of synonyms or with the help of easier words that are available.
Ma'am, can we repeat those words?
If you will repeat, is it going to be lengthier than the original one? And if you are simply जो उन्होंने लिखा वही आपने repeat कर दिया तो वो paraphrasing हुआ क्या? Rewording का मतलब जो राइटर ने बोला वो आप अपने वर्ड्स में लिख रहे हैं, तो आप उसी के वर्ड को रिपीट कर रहे हैं, तो आपके वर्ड्स में वो कहाँ बना वो?
Ma'am, for example, जैसे मैंने लिखा था, they expect high salaries and for getting high salaries, they are running after jobs. Ma'am, this type can be right.
I didn't get you. Expect high salary
And for
and
getting high salaries, they are running after jobs.
अच्छा, they run after jobs. They expect high salaries for what? They are
And I
people.
understand that they.
See, the two sentences are interlinked. People, youngsters, they run after jobs only to get name, fame, and affluence. And they expect high salaries not because they think they deserve it, but because they want name, fame, and affluence. This is what is the entire meaning of the passage. The two lines are interlinked. Today's
Okay.
youth want name, fame, and affluence. किस लिए वो उनको name, fame, affluence क्यों चाहिए? और उसके लिए for them their job, their expectation, salary, everything is used as a tool to get this name, fame, and affluence.
Okay, ma'am.
So we are moving on to close reading now. After you have done the rewording or paraphrasing, now you know what the writer has said. The original content, you are aware of the original content now, right? You have reworded, simplify कर लिया, आपने समझ लिया कि writer ने क्या बोला है, और अब now you are in a position to explain it properly or interpret it. Fine. So for interpretation, close reading is the method we use. In literary terms, close reading helps us to delve deeper and beyond the surface meaning or the literal meaning, the symbolical meanings or the layers of meanings that are hidden in the lines of a poem. We try to find out that, right? And for that, we'll find out the figure of speeches that can help us to understand, or the connotative and the literal meanings we have. Um, so first thing when we are attempting for a close reading is paraphrasing, that we have already done. तो पहले तो आपने ये समझ लिया कि पोएट ने, राइटर ने क्या बोला, ठीक है? उसके बाद try to delve deeper and find out the suggestive meaning. Just for example, The surface meaning of this line of a poem, right? The surface meaning says that he has to, as if he's on some kind of a journey, and he stops for a while near the woods or the forest. He finds it enchanting, but at the same time, he is reminded of his commitments and he wants to move ahead, reminding himself that अभी तो जर्नी का बहुत लंबी जर्नी कवर करनी है और अभी सोने का टाइम नहीं आया है, ठीक है ना? So and miles to go before I sleep. So paraphrasing we have already done. First stage हमने cover कर दिया. Now see the symbolical meanings which we can find out here. This woods could be the or forest, the captivating, enchanting woods could be any such stage in life, in the journey of life. So symbolically we are interpreting now because we know the original content. He is on a physical journey. So this physical journey could be a spiritual journey also of a person, right? Where he feels like this woods could be a symbol of any kind of distractions people are likely to have, which attracts them for a while and takes them away from their commitments or their promises or the efforts they are making to move into the direction of the achievement of their goals. So ये जो woods के पास वो थोड़ी देर के लिए रुक जाता है, उसकी loveliness में खो जाता है. So it could be a symbol of any such stage in aspect in human life where there are certain things that distracts us, that captivates us though temporarily. यहाँ पे भी it is temporarily captivating and diverts our attention or focus from the main objective we have or the goal we have. हमारा goal कुछ और है, but कभी ना कभी हम सबकी लाइफ में ऐसा फेस आता है where we feel captivated or enchanted or distracted by something which diverts our attention, which distracts us or maybe misleads us. But if we are really committed people like this poet, we won't be easily be lost in this distractions or diversions. We may enjoy it for a while, but we will not allow it to have any adverse impact on the goal we have set for our life. आपको suppose आपको 90% लाना है, ठीक है, that is your goal. बहुत सारी चीजें होंगी जो डिस्ट्रैक्टिंग होंगी कि आप ये कर लीजिए, ये एक्टिविटी कर लीजिए, वो एक्टिविटी कर लीजिए, यहाँ चले जाइए, घूम आइए, वहां छुट्टियां कर लीजिए. These are distractions, right? But if you are a determined person, if you have a strong-willed person, if you are naturally knows that distraction can take you away from your goal, and this is what these lines tells us. He says, okay, he reminds himself of his commitments, of the goal he has set for himself, where he is supposed to reach before the evening sets, the sun sets. This setting of the sun or setting of the evening could be the evening of his life, right? The setting of the sun, setting of his life. So before his life ends, the life's journey ends, whatever goals, whatever objectives he had, he want to accomplish it. Right? This is a symbolical interpretation. पर ये हम तभी कर पाएंगे जब हम पहले से समझ जाए कि poet ने क्या बोला. And miles to go before I sleep. So this 2 sleeps are there. तो ऐसे ही तो नहीं poet के पास अच्छा दूसरी लाइन क्या लिखेंगे नहीं समझ आ रहा था तो वही लाइन रिपीट कर दी. ऐसा तो नहीं होता. So he has very intentionally, he must have done that. One thing, yes, he is reiterating, he is showing his strong will when he's repeating that I have miles to cover, so I cannot afford to sit here linger here for a while and enjoy the beauty, enjoy the loveliness, because I cannot afford to get lost into this loveliness. I have a long miles, long distance to cover. I have an objective. I have a goal in my life, and I have to be focused, remain focused on that, right? So, physical journey, if we talk about, yes, he is talking about the temporary sleep in the first line. सो शाम ढलने से पहले मुझे घर पहुंचना है, ये मेरा कमिटमेंट है. और दूसरा, जिंदगी की शाम होने के पहले, and miles to go before I sleep. So this is a physical journey he is talking about. So before he retires to bed and retires to his bed, he will have to complete his journey. Then only he can afford to lie down on his bed and take rest and have a good sleep. So he cannot afford to waste his time here in this loveliness, though it's lovely, though it's captivating, but he cannot waste too much time here. And also, when it comes to his life's journey, the spiritual journey or the life's journey, he again reminds that before I get lost into any of these kinds of distractions in his life, or before he falls asleep, see, first sleep is a physical sleep which is temporary. Second sleep is the permanent sleep, death. So before he dies, whatever commitments, whatever objectives he has set for himself, he want to accomplish that so that he won't have any regrets. So this is a symbolical interpretation, but this we can do only when we have done the paraphrasing properly. All right. So first stage is paraphrasing. Second stage of a close reading or a comprehension is to bring out the suggestive meaning. Further, we'll move ahead tomorrow to see what close reading is all about. Somebody is willing to enter now, which I won't permit. Naman, are you there? Naman to Mahim. Anyone there?
Yes, ma'am.
Siddharth, Swati,
Present, ma'am.
Mihir, Priti. Priti, are you there? Astha, Mahim, Arshia, Param, Shivani, Sheetal, Gaurav, Manoj,
Present, ma'am. Manoj.
Kriti. Done? So Bhupinder to Ayushi, you're there?
Ayushi 179, sir.
Atharv 185.
Hazel, are you there? Atharv,
Present, ma'am.
Ajwal, Arun, Sanskar,
Present, ma'am.
Ayushi.
Yes,
Then Mohammed Asad to Abhishek.
Ma'am, Asad
Sir?
present.
Janavad,
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Ritu, Rituransh. Sorry. Shubhi, Rahul, Ritesh, Sandeep. Once you see your name on screen, please get alert. Akash,
Yes, ma'am.
Abhinandan,